Hey guys, Rick Hogg with Warhog Tactical, and I want to talk to you about alternate means of securing your firearms inside the home by using different pieces of furniture. So if we kind of look at this end table we have here, if you kind of just look at the front, you really can't tell there's any type of hidden drawer on here, but there is. It is held by a magnetic lock, which you need the special key for, and then what you're going to do is, the way I like to operate it is I'll use my left hand. I'll come down, I'll find the magnetic switch. Once it's there, my firing hand comes down. I've got to maintain contact with that magnetic the whole time. Pull the drawer out, and I'm able to get my pistol out of that drawer. So I'll go ahead and secure the firearm back in here. So some things to think about when this particular piece of furniture is, number one, what happens if I lose this magnet? Now my ability is greatly hampered if I need to get that firearm out. Yes, it's secured, but again, what if a child finds this magnet or has some type of other magnetic device, puts it on there, could they potentially open that? So yes, it's a way to secure it, but in my opinion, there could be some cons in there. You just got to make sure you think it through. To me, I would rather have this, personally, as someone that doesn't have young children around the home that would kind of stumble across that one. So let's kind of transition over to a different piece of furniture. This one here has zero type of locking mechanism. It's just merely a concealment device. So we look at our lamp. It's a functioning lamp. It actually works. However, it has a hidden compartment. So what I do is I pull the front cover off. And then what you'll see is I've got my Walther pistol hidden in there. Now, the beauty with this, that's being held by magnets. The nice thing is I can adjust that angle for me so that now when I reach in, I can easily purchase that pistol off and I can pull it out. So you'll see when I go ahead and put it back in, I can adjust how I want that grip angle that's going to work for me as far as securing that firearm. So again, goes in, magnets attach. And for me, that's the angle I like for my hand to come in. The beauty with having the magnets on there is, let's say I'm a left-handed shooter and want to put it on a different side. I can change that angle very easily up there. Now I just merely got to take my cover. It's secured on there. So yes, you cannot tell there's a firearm in there, but at this point, there's absolutely zero type of locking mechanism in there. So anyone could just kind of stumble across. What if a child is sitting there pulling on this and all of a sudden, boom, that firearm's exposed? So just really need to think about that if you're a parent and you have children inside your home and you look to use a device that does not have any type of locking mechanism. Now, let's go ahead and transition over this table and take a look here. All right, so let's talk about another way to secure your firearm, and that's in this discrete table. Now, with this one here, it runs off an RFID card. Now, one thing that I've found is when you're sitting there looking for your spot, and we'll hear when it activates, I push in, pull out. What I would do, if it were me, at this point, I would use something to mark that center point that's not going to give away. So me placing my phone on that table, I at least have a mark reference later on. So you'll see where it becomes easier. Boom, goes right there, able to pull the drawer out. Now you can see I have easy access to any one of my Walther pistols that I wanted to secure or store in that manner. Now, a couple things to think about when it comes to this RFID card. Very similar to the magnet. What happens if I lose this? Now I'm going to have issues. The other thing I got to think about is now I've got a battery-operated lock on there. How often am I swapping the battery out? So you could have the potential where now I close this drawer, I opt to come up and try to use my RFID card, and because I didn't do battery maintenance, this will not open. Yes, it secures your firearms, but similar to what we talked about with the magnet, could somebody pull, wiggle on this? They could. Granted, you need a special card to open it, but again, when I'm looking at securing my firearms, this is a mode. The RFID card gives you a little bit more security than having your children potentially use some type of magnetical device to open it. But the problem is, what if they get this RFID card? What if they're just walking around and all of a sudden they kind of find that point? All of a sudden, oh, what's that? They sit there, do the push-pull. Like, granted, you got to do a little push in and pull out. But kids this day and age, they possibly could. So again, it's a way to secure your firearms. We talked about the different safes being probably, in my opinion, the way to look at it. But it gives you another option. Just understand RFID card. Batteries are your cons when it comes to this. But I have all kinds of storage for my Walther pistols. Let me go ahead and close this up. Let's go take a look at some different options. Just take a quick look at my surroundings, guys. Do you see anything? Do I have a firearms close? I'll tell you straight up, I don't have one on me. But there's one somewhere around here. So that's the beauty, again, looking at ways that we can secure our firearms. This is just a different place that we can store it. Is it down here? Is it up here? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, what do we have here? Again, using my RFID card, activate this drop-down mechanism, and now right there I've got my two Walther pistols. I can take my pick between either one. So again, just gives you another option. However, understand this, guys. We have to understand, yes, I left the RFID card there, up on top. Easy access for other people should they happen to hit it, move it, do whatever, it could potentially open. Again, we've talked about the batteries. So we've got to make sure we understand our pros and cons in whatever device we're using. So again, guys, something like this concealable furniture gives us another way to secure our firearms. But again, we want to understand pros and cons of it. And again, we know this is battery operated. We've got to make sure we've got some type of system that we're swapping our batteries. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this up. All right, guys, this is the conclusion to the Firearms Around family. Really focused on looking at safety. We covered the 4 rules of firearm safety. We talked about properly securing firearms in different type of safes. We covered loading and unloading different firearms. We looked at using discrete furniture or discrete items around your house to secure your firearms. We also looked at how to secure your firearms inside your vehicles. Make sure you guys are educating your children as far as firearm safety. Make sure you understand the 4 rules of firearm safety anytime you're doing your dry or live fire training. Make sure you guys are staying safe. Get out there in training, and we'll see you guys out on the range.